Have you ever been so certain of something that you'd bet your entire world on it? I'm talking about the kind of belief that shapes your actions, defines your sacrifices, and becomes the very bedrock of your identity. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're not just dissecting a court case, we're stepping into a profound human drama, a story that forces us to ask, what makes a father? Is it biology sealed in a strand of DNA, or is it the unbreakable bonds of presence, sacrifice, and a love that endures every mile and every heartache? For the next hour, we will live inside the agonizing conflict of Miller versus Rasmussen. We'll meet a man who built his life around a little girl he calls his daughter, and a mother convinced that a fundamental truth, a biological truth, must be acknowledged, no matter the cost. This is a story of two conflicting certainties and the devastating fallout when one of them shatters. Our stage is a courtroom. The players are exhausted, their history a tangled web of love, betrayal, and fractured trust. On one side, Miss Miller. Her goal is singular, to legally sever the paternal link between her ex-boyfriend, Scotty Rasmussen, and her 3-year-old daughter, Zaylie. She's petitioned the court for a DNA test multiple times. Her belief is absolute. Scotty is not the biological father. On the other, Scotty Rasmussen. For 3 years, his identity has been Zaylie's dad. He signed the birth certificate, he pays child support without fail, and most powerfully, he drives 320 miles round trip every other weekend through all seasons just to hold his little girl. His belief is equally absolute. Zaylie is his daughter. The judge, the formidable Judge Lake, must now untangle this knot. But this isn't just about a test tube. It's about motivation. It's about history. It's about the story each of them has been living. So let's rewind. Let's understand how they got here. Their relationship, as described in court, was a classic on-again, off-again saga. The thread woven through it? Infidelity. Scotty openly admits it. He cheated. He calls it a mistake, but he owns it. Miss Miller's resentment is palpable, but she insists this isn't about hatred, it's about a concrete, biological fact. She presents her timeline. Zaylie was conceived in March of 2011. During that time, she states, Scotty was in Las Vegas, and she was with someone else. Let's pause here. This is our first major crossroads. If her timeline is accurate, the biological possibility shifts dramatically. But this creates a baffling contradiction. If she believed this then, why does the child bear the name Zaylie Rasmussen? Why did she allow Scotty to sign the birth certificate, the most powerful legal document declaring fatherhood? In court, her explanation is one of shattered hopes. They were engaged. She envisioned a happy family, a united front. The name was a promise of that future. It was only months after Zaylie's birth, upon discovering the full extent of Scotty's infidelity, that her vision crumbled, and with it, perhaps her willingness to let the previous narrative stand. Now, let's sit with Scotty's reality. Imagine being told 5 months into your child's life that you might not be the father. The ground beneath you shakes. But what does he do? He doesn't retreat. He doubles down. He fights for visitation, and I mean fights. The court-ordered process, he describes, is a brutal gauntlet of gradual trust building. First, supervised visits at a park with the mother present, then 4-hour solo visits, then a single overnight. Finally, after this emotional marathon, he earns a fragile every other weekend schedule. He does all this while driving those 160 miles each way. He does it while paying child support he now fears might be based on a lie. Why? His answer in court is simple and devastating. She is my whole world. The emotional core of his testimony is the story of Zaylie's birth. He recounts it with vivid detail, getting the call at his cashier job, rushing through a snowy Wisconsin December night, speeding down wooded roads to beat the mother to the hospital. I don't care if you fire me, he told his boss. His pride in being there is immense. But Miss Miller's memory of that same day is a polar opposite. She calls his story a lie. She remembers a man distracted by his computer, absent in the crucial moments, his excitement unseen by her. This is the heart of their tragedy. There is no shared reality, not even about one of the most significant days of their lives. They are living in 2 separate, irreconcilable stories. The court tries to find objectivity. Childhood photos are produced. Scotty, blonde-haired at 3, poses next to a picture of Zaylie. Look at the chin, the dimples, he urges, seeing a mirror. Miss Miller looks at the same photos and sees only the features of a ghost, the absent, unknown other man. Then Judge Lake poses a searing question to Miss Miller. If you are so sure and you want him out of this role, why are you still accepting his child support? Have you petitioned to stop it? Miss Miller's response is telling. She says she's told him he can stop if he just signs over his rights. This is the crux. Scotty refuses. He will not voluntarily relinquish what he feels in his soul is his. The money isn't the point. The title of father is. And so we arrive at the moment with no return. The DNA results are in the courtroom. The air is static with dread and desperate hope. Judge Lake asks Scotty if he's prepared for either outcome. His answer is brutally honest. If she is his, joy. If she is not, I don't think I could prepare myself for such a bombshell. The envelope is opened. The words are read. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. What happens in the next 90 seconds is perhaps the most raw and instructive sequence in this entire saga. First, the physical collapse of Scotty Rasmussen, a man breaking in real time. His sobs are the sound of a world annihilated. She was my whole world. Everything I do is for her. My whole world is in ruins. Then a sharp, sudden sound from Miss Miller, a gasp, a quick, unmistakable exhalation of victory. And Judge Lake's response to that sound is a masterpiece of moral clarity. She doesn't just gavel for order, she unleashes a torrent of truth that reframes the entire case. Judge Lake said, "What are you cheering for? He is over here breaking down because he loves this child so much. I sit here day after day with women hoping a man would drive 16 miles to see their baby, much less 160, and you have no compassion?" She exposes the horrific irony Miss Miller has been blind to. In her crusade to remove a man she didn't want, she has succeeded. And what has she gained? She has traded a devoted, present father for an absentee ghost. She has, as the judge said, cheated her child out of a father out of her own bitterness. The victory is empty. The cost is immeasurable. As the court adjourns, Judge Lake leaves Miss Miller with a final, haunting charge that is our takeaway today. Every action you take from this point will write the story that you will later have to tell her. So, what is the story of Miller versus Rasmussen? It is the story of biology winning a battle, but love losing a war. It is a cautionary tale about how the quest to be right can make you profoundly wrong in the ways that matter most. It is a demonstration that fatherhood is a verb, an action of showing up, and for 3 years, Scotty Rasmussen was that verb, irregardless of a genetic code. The DNA test provided an answer, but the human heart is left with a more painful, more complicated set of questions that no lab can ever resolve. What did you take from this story? Where does true parenthood reside for you, in blood or in bond? The conversation is the most important part. Share your thoughts below. If this narrative impacted you, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into the human stories behind the headlines. Until next time, take care.